And after all, we're only ordinary men. And you
Something that has always amazed me and bothered me. It's extraordinarily important, but nobody seems to know about it. When you're talking about the Vatican, then you're talking about the Catholic Church. I'm not talking about the Catholic people. I'm not talking about, my mother was a Catholic, my family were Catholics. I'm not condemning the people. I'm talking about the corporation, the company, the Vatican itself as a corporation, as an institution. I'm not talking about the people. But what has always bothered me is that something so obvious, so really in your face, obvious, nobody sees it. And that is that the Pope is wearing what he's called a mitre. The Pope's mitre is that strange looking hat the popes wear. Catholics all over the world see the Pope wearing that strange hat that we call the Pope's mitre and have no idea in the world why the Pope wears that particular strange hat. And the cardinals on occasions will wear the same kind of hat, that strange pointed hat that the Pope wears. And people all over the world who are Catholic, who are very sincere Christian Catholics, have no concept, no understanding at all what that headdress, that mitre that the Pope wears, what it means. And that's what's so extraordinary to me. When you find out what that hat represents, then I don't even know, I don't have it in words in English to explain how atrocious this whole subject is. When you find out what that Pope's mitre represents. The Pope is wearing that strange hat that he wears, very large pointed hat. It's called a mitre, M-I-T-E-R, the Pope's mitre. It represents the God of the Catholic Church. It represents the divine presence of God over the Pope. The Pope is beneath the mitre. The mitre represents the God of the Catholic religion. And that God, all you have to do is go to an encyclopedia and look it up, go to a reference work, or go on the web and just type in the word for the God of the Catholic Church. Now, many people think the Catholic Church is worshiping Jesus. But in point of fact, no, that's not true. That's what you think it's doing. But that Pope's mitre does not represent Jesus. It represents the God of the Catholic Church, and that God's term, the name of that God is Dagon, D-A-G-O-N, Dagon. And to all Catholics and anybody interested, go to a library, go on the web, go to a reference work, get a book on religious symbols and look up the word. You can do it on the web very easily. Look up Dagon, D-A-G-O-N, Dagon. Dagon is the god of the Catholic Church. It was a fish god. It was a fish god that came out of the sea. And the ancient Phoenicians and Canaanites called him Anus, or Onis, O-N-E, Onis, O-N, Onis. But the Romans called him Dagon. Dagon and Onis is the same god. A god that came out of the ocean. It was a fish god. And it goes back to the ancient Phoenicians and Canaanites and Philistines were worshiping a pagan god from the ocean called Dagon. And it was a pagan god from the old ancient Phoenician Canaanites. Today, that Dagon worship is called the Roman Catholic Church. And it has nothing to do with any man called Jesus or any belief system called Christianity. It's the old Roman religion worship of Dagon, because in the ancient Roman Empire, before Christianity, the ancient Romans, like the ancient Greeks and all the Babylonians and Sumerians and all the other ancient cultures in the ancient Middle East, All of those ancient cultures worshiped Dagon. And so today, it is still the worship of Dagon in the Roman Catholic Church. And that's why I am amazed how many people go to church or see the Pope and they're out there crying and shouting and jumping around for joy when they see the Pope come through. Everyone is like they're seeing Santa Claus or Elvis Presley. Everybody's jumping around, and it's such a holy occasion seeing the Holy Father, and never realize for a moment the Pope represents Dagon, D-A-G-O-N, Dagon, the fish god of the Phoenicians and the ancient Phoenician culture. The Philistines worshiped Dagon. The ancient peoples called him Anis or Dagon. Go in the dictionary and look it up, and you will see 3,000 to 5,000 years ago in the reference books, in the encyclopedias, look up Dagon, and you will see that, say, 5,000 years ago, the priests of Dagon were wearing the same identical hat that the Pope wears today. The same identical headdress, the same identical clothing. The words are identical. So Catholicism has nothing to do whatsoever with Christianity. It's merely a cover. It's merely a cover for the ancient Roman religion, and that's why today the word Catholic is a Latin word, Catholic, which simply means universal. Anything which is universal and all over the world at the same time is referred to in Latin as Catholic. Catholic is not the name of a religion, it's a word which means universal. So therefore, air is Catholic because air is everywhere. Water is Catholic because water is everywhere. Human beings, man and woman, are Catholic because they're man and woman is all over the earth. Stupidity is called Catholic because stupidity is all over the world. So the point I'm making is that Catholic simply means universal, all over the world. And that's why 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire ruled all of the Mediterranean. It ruled most of Europe, Britannia, and today it rules America and Canada with an iron fist. So that's why we call the worship of Dagon the Roman Catholic Church. The Catholic means universal, and Rome is universal. It's all over the world. So the Roman Catholic religion is not Christian, it's the worship of the ancient Roman god Dagon, D-A-G-O-N. Go get the reference books and read for yourself.
You need to do your homework on words and terms. You will find that there's an extraordinary ignorance among the people of this world in relation to theology and religion. I talked about the word church. A lot of people do not know that the word church, an English word, as a matter of fact, you might want to keep this in mind. Go to any good library and do a lot of reading in the Oxford Dictionary of the English Language. Very important set of books. The word church, English word, goes back to a Scottish word, kirk. Kirk is church in Scottish, which is why you have a television show with Captain Kirk, the good ship Enterprise. That's what Kirk is, enterprise. Money, political power. The very word priest. Well, let me finish with church, because there's more to it. Church goes back, as I said, to a Scottish word, kirk, but kirk can be traced back to a Roman goddess named Circe. Circe in Rome can be traced back to a Greek goddess, Circe. She was called Mother Circe. I'm not making this up. Mother Circe in the ancient Greek was known as an enchantress. She was able to hypnotize people, bring them into her house, turn them into pigs, and eat them, and live off of them. And this is what has happened today. Mother Circe, Mother Kirk, Mother Church has hypnotized nations and people that come into her house, turned them into animals to be used as cannon fodder for wars throughout the world, and live off of them.
Everyone is stupid except me. Damn it! Go! Hell with it!
A surety bond or surety is a promise by a surety or guarantor to pay one party, the obligee, a certain amount if a second party, the principal, fails to meet some obligation, such as fulfilling the terms of a contract.
Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land.
Okay. Can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things?
Let my people go.
Now when Israel was in Egypt land,
Let my people go.
oppressed so hard they could not stand.
Let my people go.
So the Lord said, go down,
Go down,
Moses,
Moses,
way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaohs to let my people go.
let my people go.
So Moses went to Egypt land.
Let my people go.
He made old Pharaoh understand.
Let my people go.
Yes, the Lord said, go down,
Go down,
Moses,
Moses,
way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaohs to let my people go.
let my people go.
Thus spoke the Lord, bold Moses said,
Let my people go.
if not, I'll smite your firstborn dead.
Let my people go.
'Cause the Lord said, go down,
Go down,
Moses,
Moses,
way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh
to let my people go.
Commerce, finance, the fact or process of securitizing assets, the conversion of loans into securities, usually in order to sell them on to other investors.
Let my people go.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. I saw a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. That's why I sing Swing Low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
To death. Oh, dear Lord. You made many, many poor people. I realize, of course, it's no shame to be poor. But it's no great honor either. So what would have been so terrible if I had a small fortune?
If I were a rich man, yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. All day long I biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. If I were a biddy-biddy rich, idle-diddle-diddle-diddle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with the real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with the chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each loud will land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. All day long I biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. If I were a biddy-biddy rich, idle-diddle-diddle-diddle man, I see my wife, my gold, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oh, what a happy mood! Screaming at the servants day and night. The most important man in town will come to fawn on me. They will ask me to advise them like a Solomon the wise. If you please, Rebetavia, pardon me, Rebetavia, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I like to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. And that would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, all day long I biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?
In a little tent, oh, and just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change
Revelation 20.
come. Oh, yes it will.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season.
A long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie, and I go down.
Revelation 13.
Somebody keep telling me no.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please.
Oh, I get
But
it.
he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there've been times that I thought I could last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
people go.
Oppressed so hard they could not stand.
Let my people go.
So the Lord said, go down.
Go down.
Moses.
Moses.
Way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaohs to let my people go.
Let my people go.
So Moses went to Egypt land.
Let my people go.
He made old Pharaoh understand.
Let my people go.
Yes, the Lord said, go down.
Go down.
Moses.
Moses.
Way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaohs to let my people go.
Let my people go.
Thus spoke the Lord, bold Moses said,
let my people go.
If not, I'll smite your firstborn dead.
Let my people go.
'Cause the Lord said, go down.
Go down.
Moses.
Moses.
Way